live stream. Yeah, don't worry, we'll always support you. Facing the kind and earnest fans, Sister Zhou merely rolled her eyes and didn't respond. As the narration concluded, the sun shone brightly, illuminating everything around her. She found herself in front of a desolate shop. Wow, this graphics quality is just like in the videos. Seriously, what is the difference between this and time travel? Is this really a domestically produced game? Isn't that obvious? Didn't you see it's all in Chinese? Didn't you notice the name of the game studio? Like other player streamers, this was Sister Zhou's first time in the game, and she stood there like a fool, dazedly taking in her surroundings. On this sunny afternoon with a gentle breeze, many viewers in Sister Zhou's livestream had already watched the video several times. When they saw her still standing there, they quickly reminded her, Sister Zhou, what are you waiting for? Are you preparing to feed lions? Yes, yes, yes. The online guide says if you linger too long at the spawn point, you'll encounter 2 lions. Sister Zhou, what are you waiting for? Run. Noticing the viewers' comments, Sister Zhou suddenly snapped back to reality. Lions? Screw it. Even if it's just a dog, I might die if I encounter one. Thinking of this, Sister Zhou immediately strode towards the cars parked by the roadside. What is she doing? Is she planning to drive away? Oh no, this is something else. A group of viewers, seeing Sister Zhou running towards a row of cars, started to comment. Initially, while watching the game video, they had thought those old vehicles parked by the roadside were just props. But at this moment, Sister Zhou's instinctive action made them realize something. With the extreme interactivity like in I Am Legend, those cars parked by the roadside might actually be drivable. If that's the case, could she escape to another city? Thinking of this, the viewers in the live stream seemed to discover a new way to play and secretly decided to try it out later. Creak, accompanied by a sour sound. A car that had been parked for who knows how long and covered in dust was opened by Sister Zhou. A musty smell hit her face, and she wrinkled her nose, checking the car's keyhole, but found no key. Not giving up, she searched another car. 1 car, 2 cars, 3 cars. After checking several vehicles, they were all relatively intact, but none had the keys. Clap, clap, clap. What sound is that? Just as Sister Zhou walked towards the next car, a strange noise suddenly came from behind her. She instinctively turned around. Upon seeing what was behind her, she couldn't help but scream in fright. Oh no, the newcomer Terminator is here. Chapter 021. This game can teach you how to drive. It's coming. It's coming. It's striding over with a kingly gait. Before the host, Sister Zhou, could react, the viewers in the live room began flooding the screen with comments, eagerly watching. They wanted to see Sister Zhou being torn apart by the lion. They wanted to satisfy their primal urges, watching Sister Zhou struggle beneath the mighty lion's body. However, Sister Zhou, known for her fierce personality, quickly snapped out of her fear. Faced with the approaching lion, she immediately opened the car door and dove inside. Bang! The kind-hearted lion closed the car door for her. Wow, Sister Zhou, that move was impressive. Even the lion is helping you. Haha, amazing. Host, you're quite the clever one, but I'm curious. What if the lion doesn't leave? Just wait to die? Seeing the comments in the live room, Sister Zhou felt helpless. Hiding in the car was a desperate measure. Now, looking at the golden-haired lion lurking outside the window, she felt stuck. Perhaps the 2 lions weren't hungry, they simply lingered outside. After some time, the lioness walked away. And that lion, what the heck? Is it guarding me like I'm some kind of rabbit? Sitting in the driver's seat, Sister Zhou noticed that the lion not only stayed but lay down outside the car, and tears filled her eyes. Haha, it's over. Our Sister Zhou has caught the lion's attention, and the lioness doesn't even matter anymore. It wants to have little lion cubs with her. Host, if it comes to that, just give in to our Simba. Who is Simba? You clearly haven't grown up yet. He was part of our childhood. Looking at the comments, Sister Zhou felt like giving each viewer a punch. Her life was on the line, and these people were still joking around. But now wasn't the time to be angry. She couldn't just sit there indefinitely, right? However, the lion outside looked like it was not the type to eat pet food. As Sister Zhou pondered, she rummaged through the car, trying to find something for self-defense. Damn, the game designer must be a meticulous genius. Wait, if I'm not mistaken, Sister Zhou is holding 3 lace ropes, right? No way. It really is. This designer is amazing. The car's storage compartment has underwear. That's normal, right? Fellow viewers, that's perfectly fine. Even having balloons is a standard operation. The entire interaction process inside the car was witnessed by the audience, and once again, they were stunned by such intricate details. This game is incredible. It completely surpasses their previous understanding of in-game vehicles. Guys, have you realized one thing? What thing? If this car really can drive away, then what about those without a driver's license? Oh no. What do I do if I've never driven before? Yeoman Driving School. This driving school is enrolling students nationwide at low prices, ensuring that every student gains something from their learning experience. Wow, this advertisement is really on point. Of course, for such pervasive ads, viewers quickly fired back. Seriously, who needs a driving school when you can learn to drive in a game? Haha, Now there's a reason to ask family for money to buy games. This topic immediately resonated with some students in the livestream, who eagerly picked up their phones to message their family members, putting aside the advertisement incident in the livestream. In the game, as Sister Zhou fumbled around in the car, time slowly passed. Eventually, the lion outside clearly lost its patience and suddenly leaped up from the ground. Bang, oh my! A dull thud sounded as the heavy lion's body pressed the car down, startling Sister Zhou, who was looking for tools. Creak! Metallic grinding noises filled the car. Under Sister Zhou's terrified gaze, the lion climbed from the roof onto the hood, staring back at her through the foggy windshield. This close encounter with a lion was far more thrilling than watching one at the zoo. In an instant, Sister Zhou's hands and feet turned cold. Should she open the door and run? Would she even make it? Gazing at the majestic lion just a glass away, Sister Zhou murmured to herself. In the next moment, she quickly dismissed that thought. Running against a lion? That's a joke. She'd probably be pinned down before she even got the chance to start moving. Creak! Creak! Facing Sister Zhou's uncertainty, the lion, having exhausted all patience, scratched at the windshield with its front paws. Fortunately, the top left corner of the glass was marked Made in Huagua, which somewhat reassured Sister Zhou and the livestream audience. However, as the lion moved, the whole car began to rock up and down, undoubtedly a torment for Sister Zhou inside. With each jolt, a keychain fell from the sun visor onto Sister Zhou's lap. This is the car key? Looking at the key that suddenly dropped onto her leg, Sister Zhou found it hard to believe. Surprised? Unexpected? The very thing she was looking for was right above her head. This surprise came so suddenly that tears welled up in Sister Zhou's eyes. Haha, look how excited the streamer is, she's crying. Sister Zhou, don't get too happy too soon. Based on my years of clinical experience, this car might have been sitting for years. The battery is probably dead. Wow, you guys really can't stand to see the streamer do well, huh? But honestly, it's quite possible. Sister Zhou ignored the comments in the livestream. The key in her hand was her last hope. Regardless of whether it would work or not, she had to give it a try. With trembling hands, she inserted the key into the ignition, took a deep breath to calm herself as much as possible. Once her heart rate settled, she slowly turned the key. The starter, which hadn't moved for a long time, emitted a dull and feeble sound. There's power. Upon hearing the noise, the woman couldn't help but show a joyful expression. As an experienced driver who often races in live streams, she knew that she couldn't rush things at this moment. She immediately turned the key to the on position, allowing the entire vehicle to power up. After about 30 seconds, she adjusted her breathing, pressed the clutch, and with a quick twist of the key, she gave it another try. The engine sputtered to life with a low rumble, and suddenly, a puff of black smoke burst from the rear of the car as it shook and roared to life. Yes, well done. It actually started. In that moment, both the woman and the viewers in the live stream erupted in cheers as if a weight had been lifted. If it weren't for the city's strict ban on fireworks, someone might have set off a few firecrackers. In short, the car had successfully started, and the live stream was filled with excitement. Completely immersed in the moment, the woman felt a joy that others couldn't truly understand. The roar of the engine startled the lion, causing it to leap down from the front of the car. However, the lion didn't leave. It stood nearby, its cold eyes curiously watching the roaring metal beast before it. Facing the lion's gaze, the woman was filled with excitement, her face displaying a triumphant expression. Just wait and see how this plays out. P.S. New books seeking support, recommendations, and shares. Chapter 022, a BGM that sweeps the internet again. Hey, little darling, weren't you quite fierce just now? Now you'll see what happens when you chase after me. Boom, boom. Sister Zhou, looking like a small person who has achieved something, floors the gas pedal. The mechanical beast beneath her roars like a tiger charging out of its lair, rushing towards the lion. Roar, dodging the metal monster charging at her. The lion turns and glances at the car, cursing as it scurries into a side road. This woman has quite the vengeful spirit. If she stays any longer, her life might be in danger. Hey, you ran fast this time. Otherwise, I would have definitely run you over. Sister Zhou mutters as she sees the lion escape in the rearview mirror. Streamer, what about your face? Can we have a little dignity here? If you're so capable, why don't you get out and say that? Haha, isn't Sister Zhou always like this? I can't argue with that. But to be fair, Sister Zhou's move was indeed quite fierce. Yeah, up till now, only Sister Zhou has truly chased the lion away. No kidding. I just came from next door where they were roasting pig, and that guy had a terrible fate. Haha, while the whole internet is escaping from the lion's mouth, you actually chased the lion away. By the way, Sister Zhou, I saw Sister Luo's livestream yesterday. There's a weapon shop on the street. You should hurry and gather some weapons. Right, and you need to find a safe hiding spot before it gets dark. The audience in the livestream, seeing Sister Zhou casually driving down the street, immediately started reminding her. Well, at least you guys have a bit of conscience. Seeing the reminders, Sister Zhou thanked them, then rolled down the car window, paying attention to the shops along the street. In the desolate autumn city, the roar of the engine echoed throughout the street. Golden sunlight spilled down, illuminating Sister Zhou's profile, creating a stunningly beautiful scene with exquisite visual quality. For a moment, the viewers in the live stream were all captivated. Suddenly, the BGM started playing. As the beautiful melody began, a song titled Hell or High Water filled the live stream. Accompanied by the prelude, the camera view transitioned from inside the car, through the roof, and into the sky. You never know what tomorrow may bring. A voice full of experience resonated, and the live stream exploded with excitement. Wow, I didn't expect this game to have an AI perspective switch. But isn't this BGM a bit incredible? What a perfect match for this scene. The woman lying next to you could be a memory. Accompanied by a voice that carries a sense of sorrow, the perspective rose again, and the audience could see the entire layout of the neighborhood. Upon seeing this neighborhood, everyone's first impression was that it was large and desolate. Aside from the old cars speeding down the road below, the entire open area was devoid of any living being. Even the lion that had fled earlier seemed to have vanished without a trace. Wow, how big is this map? Who knows how big the designer intended it to be? But with this scale, I'm afraid I won't be able to play any other games in the future. It's amazing. I need to download it. Hee, I've already downloaded it. Just not playing it. Woohoo. I also want to play, but I'm too scared. I hope the gaming community will come out with a casual game. Oh wow. I just found a secret. I couldn't find this BGM online at all. What? Could it be that the designer made it themselves? Writing songs while making games? Damn, I actually believed it. This is unbelievable. As the atmosphere in the live stream room heated up, the popularity skyrocketed, making the host, Zhou Jie, ecstatic. However, compared to Zhou Jie, the other top streamers were having a rough time. Some were still racing against lions. Even after changing several locations, they kept encountering these two lions. This is just ridiculous. However, due to the explosive popularity of I Am Legend VR, viewers in the chat room were hopping from one live stream to another, eager to catch these top streamers' exciting moves. With viewers jumping around, Zhou Jie's unique gameplay also gained traction. A group of streamers, learning about the fun driving antics, hopped into their beloved old cars and set off on a journey to enjoy the BGM while cruising. I Am Legend VR became a massive hit, breaking through the limits of popularity at an unstoppable pace. Simultaneously, the BGM triggered while driving around was also gaining fame. Some kind-hearted viewers even recorded the gameplay, processed the BGM titled Hell or High Water, and uploaded it online. This original game soundtrack, Hell or High Water, instantly climbed the charts. What was even more astonishing was that in less than 20 minutes, it surged from the bottom of the list into the top 10. Everyone was once again deeply shocked. When did the global original song charts become so accessible? Even a game BGM could make it to the top 10. Of course, those musicians and viewers who held such thoughts all silently gave it a 5-star rating after listening to the song, just like those reading this book. And once the viewers who had heard the BGM found out that this was the most popular live game of the day, they joined in to watch the live stream. When this group entered the live stream room and saw the breathtaking visuals, they all began to question, is this really a game? Seeing such comments, the seasoned viewers in the live stream room clearly couldn't be bothered to respond and continued watching the gameplay. Wow, Teacher Ma, you're amazing here. Who says otherwise? While others are worrying about escaping, you're here playing and building defenses. Accompanied by the viewers' comments, the live stream showed a player named Teacher Ma constructing defensive structures in the basement of a street-facing building. Behind the metal door, there was a large pile of clutter. At this point, not only was it difficult to push it open, but even explosives would likely struggle to blow it apart. Looking at the door filled with junk, the teacher opened a small ventilation window in the basement that was about 10 centimeters high and 30 centimeters wide. After bandaging his hand, which had been cut while moving the clutter, he picked up some canned food he had collected and began to eat while interacting with the viewers in the live stream. Haha, I've watched Sister Luo's live stream replay more than 10 times just to play this game, although I still haven't figured out the main storyline. Based on my years of clinical experience, it seems that only surviving the first night will reveal the truth. I have to say, this clever teacher really guessed Lin Fei's thoughts by accident. However, the first night in this VR game is certainly not easy to get through. As the teacher interacted with the viewers, the streets outside, bathed in the afterglow of the sunset, gradually succumbed to darkness. The night breeze picked up, and the quiet city was filled with mournful sobs. After satisfying his hunger, the teacher filled all the gun magazines he had collected with bullets. Holding a steel gun, he sat nervously in the corner of the basement, staring intently at the iron door piled high with clutter. Tap, tap. In the darkness, the sound of chaotic and dense footsteps approached as expected. The atmosphere in the entire live stream room instantly froze, and everyone's hearts involuntarily tightened. P.S. New book needs your support. Please recommend. Chapter 023. Teacher Ma. These guys have a keen sense of smell. It's here. It's here. They are approaching with a reckless stride. As expected, the terrifying creatures from I Am Legend VR made their appearance. Thud thud, accompanied by the sound of footsteps. Several dark figures appeared outside the small ventilation window in the basement. In the faint moonlight, ragged, grayish-white thighs were exposed to everyone's view. Due to the angle, Teacher Ma couldn't see the appearance of the monsters. However, even so, the terrifying faces he had seen in the live stream replay flashed through his mind. Huff, huff. The heavy breathing of the monsters echoed particularly clearly in the cramped basement. Oh no. Looking outside, Teacher Ma realized that he had been so busy with the defense that he forgot to close the ventilation window. Although the small window only allowed a child to crawl through and had a steel mesh guard. Who knew if those terrifying creatures had a sense of smell as sharp as a dog's? With this thought, Teacher Ma had to suppress his fear, steeling himself to quietly close the window. As he approached, the muscular grayish-white thighs swayed in front of him, and his heartbeat quickened. The audience in the live stream, separated by a screen, began to tease without fear of the situation. Hey, 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 Teacher Ma, didn't you always like long legs? Aren't you enjoying the view now? Look, is this even human? Teacher Ma, who was extremely nervous, rolled his eyes at the comments but didn't dare to respond. Just as he reached halfway, the long legs outside suddenly stopped moving. Teacher Ma, who had been anxiously watching outside, felt his pupils suddenly constrict and his heart raced as he froze in place, unable to move. In the next moment, after a brief pause, he saw the owner of those pale long legs suddenly crouch down. Oh no. Almost startled out of his wits, Teacher Ma broke out in a cold sweat. Fortunately, the creature didn't look towards the window but instead crouched down, its nose twitching as if it was sniffing something. Teacher Ma, puzzled, instinctively looked at his bandaged hand, which was seeping blood. Could it really have a sense of smell like a dog? He raised his head to look at the monster, feeling his heart shatter. At this moment, the audience in the live stream also reacted, flooding the chat with comments. No way. Do these monsters really have a dog-like sense of smell? I think Teacher Ma is in trouble. I think it should be fine. The window is so small, they can't get in, right? It all depends on Teacher Ma's mental resilience. Seeing the viewers' sarcastic comments, Teacher Ma wished he could silence these jokers. Damn it. I'm still a man. Do they think I'd be scared like that? However, the truth proved that his ability to cope wasn't much better than Lin Luo's. As he was lost in thought, the crouching monster suddenly turned its head as if it had tracked the source of the bloody scent. Its pitch-black eyes locking onto the basement. The emotionless face, devoid of any human feelings, immediately terrified everyone present. What the hell? Are you kidding me? Do you think I could just be a little out of fear? Compared to the viewers in the live stream, the teacher on site felt as if he was about to wet himself from fright. The moment their eyes met, he let out an uncontrollable, broken scream. Accompanied by a howl that pierced through the night, he instinctively pulled the trigger of his assault rifle. Bang, bang, bang. The frenzied roar shattered the silence of the darkness. Amidst the gunfire and the roars, the bullets flew wildly like headless flies. The cement walls, windows, and the monster outside were all hit by the flying bullets. Chunks of cement flew apart, glass shattered, and blood and brain matter splattered, creating a scene of violent aesthetics. The teacher, who had never killed anyone and hadn't even killed a chicken, was taken aback by the sight before him. Thick, dark liquid dripped from the window into the basement. The unpleasant odor spread, and as the teacher was already gasping heavily, he took a deep breath only to gag and spit it out. Just as he was retching, the continuous roaring from outside intensified, with countless figures rushing toward the window. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Looking out at the pale faces devoid of human features. The teacher, immersed in the fear of killing, was so scared that he fell to the ground and instinctively pulled the trigger again. Bang, bang, bang. With deafening sounds, the bullets in the magazine were unleashed. The storm-like barrage of bullets echoed, some hitting the walls, others striking the monsters. In that moment, not a single viewer mocked his aim, and there were hardly any comments on the screen. Everyone clenched their fists, focusing intently on the live broadcast. It was so thrilling. Click, click, click. Hearing the empty sound from his assault rifle, the teacher realized he had run out of ammunition. He instinctively looked up at the window, and his pupils suddenly contracted. Under the bright moonlight, the shattered window was covered in the filth that had burst forth. Thick, dark blood and viscera slowly dripped from the windowsill and along the walls, pooling on the floor. The entire basement was filled with the foul stench of the monster's blood. Although the smell was unbearable and even nauseating, the dead monsters had blocked the window. Seeing this, the teacher couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief, thinking, it should be fine now, right? However, before he could catch his breath, he saw the monster that had been shot in the head suddenly being yanked away and flung outside by a tremendous force. In the next moment, as the window was cleared, several new faces appeared. Roar, roar, roar. Suddenly, Mr. Ma's heart tightened, and he instinctively pulled the trigger. But his assault rifle showed no response at all. Damn, No bullets left. Realizing the reason, Mr. Ma immediately turned and crawled to the corner of the wall, where he had stacked the ammunition he prepared earlier. At that moment, he felt incredibly fortunate, grateful that he had watched the livestream replay several times and remembered the location of that weapon store. After almost emptying the store, Mr. Ma picked up a fully loaded M4A1 and started firing randomly at the window. Bang, bang, bang. The free bullets formed a barrage, and in an instant, several monsters crouching at the window were shot to pieces. However, as this batch of monsters fell, new ones surged up, as if trapped in a vicious cycle. One batch of monsters would die and block the window, only to be ruthlessly flung away by their companions, followed by another wave appearing. Meanwhile, Mr. Ma dared not stop. As one batch came, he shot them down. Although guarding the basement didn't consume much physical strength for a normal person, it was mentally exhausting. Chapter 024. Teacher Ma, Bloodthirsty Dam. Why am I so unlucky? With his back against the wall and his heart pounding, Teacher Ma kept swallowing, his mouth dry like a desert and a strange taste lingering. This game is great in every way. It's just too damn realistic. So real that he felt he was truly in an apocalyptic world. Although there was bottled water nearby, he had no mood to drink. Staring at another batch of emotionless faces appearing at the window, he pulled the trigger again. Now bloodthirsty, Teacher Ma felt numb, like a machine. Whenever new monsters appeared at the window, he would decisively pull the trigger. Bang! Crash! Suddenly, a loud crash echoed as the clutter piled in front of the iron door tumbled down. Damn it! This crash completely shattered Teacher Ma's tense nerves. He cursed angrily, pulled the trigger fiercely, and leaned towards the window, shooting outside. The magazine ran empty. So he switched to a fully loaded gun, continuing to shoot until he could fire no more, then opened the ammo box and started loading bullets into each magazine. The iron door was being slammed repeatedly, while the humanoid monsters at the window howled with their dark mouths wide open. At that moment, he felt less fear than before. Although still scared, his hands were noticeably steadier. After loading the magazines, he chambered the rounds and continued shooting. When he ran out of bullets again, he kept loading, repeating the cycle. Thus, Teacher Ma shot from night to deep night, and from deep night to early morning. Even he himself didn't know how many bullets he had fired or how many times he had loaded the magazines. Once again, the bullets ran out, and he unloaded the magazine to load more bullets. Over time, this could lead to aesthetic fatigue, but not a single viewer in the livestream left. They were all waiting for the dawn in the game. If nothing unexpected happened, Teacher Ma should be the first player in the world to survive the first night. Yes, fortunately, that extreme design genius didn't synchronize the game's time with reality. Otherwise, this game would be unplayable. I wonder if the main storyline will unlock after dawn. It should trigger, right? Crack, crack. Just as the viewers in the livestream were discussing the game content, a sound like stones shattering echoed. The chilling noise instantly put everyone on edge. As Teacher Ma looked up, everyone witnessed a horrifying scene. It seemed that the group of monsters, perhaps sensing dawn was approaching, had gone mad. Their grayish-white hands clawed at the cement window, as if they felt no pain at all, even when their hands were scraped raw by the rough cement, revealing bone. Their twisted faces showed no sign of agony. In fact, in their frenzy, two monsters with torn hands defiantly opened their mouths wide and began to gnaw with their dark teeth. The crackling sound of gnawing sent chills down everyone's spine, making their skin crawl. Damn, this is too insane. The designer must be quite extraordinary to create such a bizarre monster. Compared to the viewers in the livestream, at this moment, the teacher was completely stunned. The chilling sounds of gnawing engulfed him in fear. What the heck? This designer really has no humanity. How can anyone live with this? He swore he had never been this scared in his life, nor had he ever wished for daylight as much as today. Filled with dread, he quickly loaded his magazine and, after loading his M4A1, fired without hesitation. After a night of practice shooting in the game, his marksmanship had improved significantly. From initially shooting wildly to now being able to master controlled bursts at this distance with perfect accuracy. Just like that saying, all sharpshooters are nurtured by bullets. The teacher quickly eliminated the frenzied monsters gnawing at the window. In reality, only a little over an hour had passed, but for the teacher immersed in the game, it felt like a century. After an unknown amount of time, wisps of green smoke suddenly drifted in through the window, mingling the smell of sulfur with a putrid odor, creating an even more unpleasant scent. As sunlight appeared, he was shocked to see the bodies outside the window smoking and, in a moment, turning into a pool of black liquid upon exposure to light. Daylight. Looking at the desolate street illuminated by the rising sun, the teacher stood in a daze for a while, finally revealing a smile of joy, as if he had survived a catastrophe. Ha! I made it. I made it. Brothers. At this moment, the teacher felt an overwhelming sense of having survived a great disaster. He threw away his assault rifle and felt as happy as a child, tears flowing uncontrollably from his eyes. Woohoo! I really made it. The tension that had been tightly wound finally relaxed at that moment. He jumped around in the basement like a madman, continuously cheering. Haha, Master Teacher. You're amazing. Master Teacher is mighty. Brothers, send gifts. With a dedicated fan's comment, gifts like fireworks, sports cars, and luxury villas began to flood the teacher's live stream. Minutes passed, and the fireworks from the donations showed no signs of stopping. As the first streamer in the world to survive the first night in I Am Legend VR, viewers were continuously pouring into the teacher's live stream. The popularity surged from over 200,000 to an astounding 800,000. Teacher, hurry out and see if you can trigger the main quest. At this moment, a viewer made the request, but the comment quickly disappeared in the flood of messages. Fortunately, more and more viewers began to realize this issue and started asking the teacher to go out. Seeing the audience's requests, the teacher nodded in agreement. While tidying up his things and sorting out his mixed feelings, he finally got back into the right mindset. After everything was done, he felt like he had changed quite a bit after experiencing a night in the game. Not only had he learned to use firearms, but his shooting skills had also improved. He had a vague sense that even if he were given a gun in real life, he could handle it as easily as in the game. More importantly, he felt he could face those monsters head-on. Can playing games really build one's courage? It seemed so. Then, does that mean I could also practice driving? The thought of his 8-year struggle to pass the driving test suddenly filled him with confidence. In no time, he cleared the clutter in front of the door. What the heck? Are those monsters Shaolin monks? That's really messed up. This is an iron gate. I'm not sure if those monsters are monks, but I feel like I've really dodged a bullet. Looking at the circular protrusions on the iron gate, he couldn't help but think of the bald heads of those humanoid monsters, and he felt a wave of relief. While he was still reflecting on this, he was eager to seek out the main storyline and, without a second thought, opened the iron gate and stepped outside. Clang, whoa, that startled me. Just a few steps out the door, he was shocked by a kicked-up soda can beneath his feet. Cursing under his breath, he glanced down and froze in place. Chapter 025. Paid games? How much can you earn? Is someone doing this intentionally? Looking at the neatly arranged cans on the ground, Teacher Ma was momentarily stunned. In the next instant, he suddenly realized something, and the expression on his face changed dramatically. Before he could react, he felt hurried footsteps approaching from behind. Damn! Teacher Ma immediately lifted his legs and ran outside. But just as he did, he felt a heavy weight fall on his back, knocking him down. With no training whatsoever, Teacher Ma, in a panic, instinctively clenched his gun and turned to push the assailant away. However, he didn't expect that upon turning around, he would be so frightened that his soul nearly left his body. What the hell? Is this what they call a turnaround kill? It has been confirmed. Teacher Ma is not going to last 3 seconds. This is definitely the end. A pale, hideous, bloodthirsty face, with a foul mouth wide open, lunged toward him. Teacher Ma's sudden turn not only scared him significantly, but also frightened the viewers in the live stream to the point that they almost dropped their phones. When this group of people saw the creature on Teacher Ma, which had obvious female characteristics, they couldn't help but start mocking. As for Teacher Ma himself, at that moment, he had no mood for anything, even feeling that he might not be able to lift his arms due to fear. Just as he was dazed, more than 10 monsters rushed out from the dark corridor. The group of monsters, upon seeing Teacher Ma, surged toward him like flies to feces, leaping up and burying him beneath them. You have died. Game over. Wow. Teacher Ma, who was live streaming at home, stared blankly at the prompt on the screen. And in less than half a second, he opened his mouth and vomited. This is so damn scary and brutal. My intestines have been ripped out. Is the designer insane? Why does this part have to be so realistic? Did I hear something? You heard it right. It seems like Teacher Ma just vomited. Ugh, so disgusting. Hearing the retching sound from the live stream, the viewers started flooding the screen with comments again. Having witnessed countless streamers die, they were somewhat immune to such bloody scenes. As Teacher Ma's game ended, the live stream replay was made into a video. The title "The First Player to Survive a Night in I Am Legend VR" also became a sensation. This segment of video quickly topped the trending charts with views hitting tens of thousands per minute. Meanwhile, learning from Teacher Ma's experience, several other streamers began to imitate him. Additionally, from this video, viewers uncovered an explosive detail. The monsters in the game are intelligent and actually use cans as a warning. Less than 2 hours after the game's release, various videos and strategies were edited by major video platforms and uploaded online. Within just over 2 hours, the game named I Am Legend VR swept across the internet. Especially with its stunning visuals, it created a sensation throughout the film industry. The world's top film production companies quickly sensed a business opportunity and eagerly leveraged their connections to reach out to an interstellar gaming platform, attempting to obtain contact details for game designers or studios. However, these companies, which had secured contact information through their networks, dialed the numbers without hesitation. What? A disconnected line? In the high-level conference room at headquarters, the leader stared incredulously at the supervisor. He never expected that the contact number he obtained through connections would turn out to be a dead end. Can you believe this? With the game's immense